Hello, everyone. We are just waiting for a few seconds for our attendees to join us, and we will start in 1 minute. While we are waiting for our attendees, you're welcome to put your name and country where you're from. Please put this information in the chat box. We are very interested in where you're from and what programs you study in. Okay, I think we can start. Hello to everyone. Welcome to our webinar, which is organized by IFLA Building Strong LIS Education Working Group. The Building Strong LIS Education Working Group is an initiative of 3 professional units of IFLA: the section on education and training, the section on library theory and research, and the special interest group, which is called LIS Education in Developing Countries. This working group was launched in 2016, and you can find some information about this initiative on our website, on the webpage of IFLA section on education and training, and IFLA section on library and theory research. Also, there is a website of this group, the address of which is bslise.org. So today's webinar organized by this working group is called Library and Information Science Student Voices Global Peer-to-Peer Dialogue. This dialogue was initiated by us with the aim to unite LIS students from around the globe. And we would like LIS students to share their experience and to discuss why they chose this library field, why they chose this profession. And it is very interesting. And also the Building Strong LIS Education Working Group members, and there are over 40 members today. So the members also are very interested to know more, because we research LIS education field. So today webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be posted on our YouTube channel. So you're welcome to share this link later when we will post this. And also, if you have any questions or comments about this event or the future events of IFLA, you're welcome to ask us and put your questions in the Q&A box. And also, all questions regarding privacy can be sent to professionalsupport@ifla.org. So just a few words about BSLA's working group projects for LIS students. We have 2 projects. The first project was initiated by Amanda Thompson, the US master student, who developed the project, the Student Spotlight. This is very interesting project which aims at knowing more about LIS students worldwide. And the second project is a Library and Information Science Student Voices Global Peer-to-Peer Dialogue. And today it is our third session. So right now I would like to introduce our colleagues. Today with me is Dr. Barbara Marson, who is also the member of the BSLASE working group. And today also here is with us is the project assistant, Christina Young, who will be moderating this session for 1 hour and a half. So please, Christina, the floor is yours.
Hello, so my name is Christina. I'm the project manager for IFLA. I will be today's moderator, and I'm going to ask our panelists, Jose, Maddie, Alifa, and Ira, questions, and I'll do it in order of Jose, Maddie, Alifa, and Ira. If y'all can answer the questions in that order. So the first question I have is, what's your name? What's the university that you attended and are graduated? The degree or program that you were enrolled in? How far along are you? And if you graduated, when did you graduate? And if you forget any of the questions, just let me know. I'll be happy to like retell or resale.
Good morning, everyone, and good evening from the Philippines because it's already night here. But my name is Jose Manuel C. Ramirez, a fourth-year BLIS student at the University of the East Manila. I am currently taking my OJT right now. My working practice. So I also serve as the vice president for the UE ASLIS organization, which is the library organization in our university from 2021 to 2022 as the vice president.
Hello everyone, my name is Maddie. I'm joining you today from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I go to Dalhousie University and I study at the School of Information Management in the Master of Information program. And I'm in my second year, it's a 2-year program. So graduating this year, but I also did my MA here in history before. And yeah, happy to be here with you.
Alifa.
Hello everyone. I'm Alifia Munada, 20 years old, and now I'm in my 3rd years, majoring in library science at Sunan Kalijaga Islamic State University, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. I'm very grateful and honored to take this event. This is my first time to I have participated in this big event like this. So I apologize and correction me if I do some mistake. And the point is, nice to meet you guys.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And I just want to greet everyone. Magandang gabi sa lahat. Mayong gabi sa inyong tanan. I am Ira Mordano, a 4th-year Bachelor of Library and Information Science student from the College of Information and Computing at the University of Southeastern Philippines, Davao City. And I want to thank the committee of the IFLA section on education and training. Thank you so much for having us today.
Okay, so the next question I have for everybody is, why did you choose to study library and information science? So, Jose?
Actually, I chose this course, Library Information Science, actually out of practicality, because here in the Philippines we only have 9,000 to 10,000 licensed librarians, and most of them are already aging. So the librarians now are deteriorating in number, and 9,000 to 10,000 librarians are already small, because here in the Philippines, if all schools have libraries, we expect 50,000 job opportunities for librarians. So the 9,000 to 10,000 won't be able to fill in the 50,000. So the normal scenario here in the Philippines is that the libraries for graduates of library information science, the libraries are the one who is pursuing the applicants, not the applicants pursuing the jobs right now, because there is a shortage. But I actually chose to stay here in the library field because I know it can change a lot of people's lives, because I have been very influenced by my professors, Dr. Juan C. Buenrostro Jr., if you have heard of them, the previous SLA Asia awardee, Kevin Conrad Tansyongko. He's my professor, so I was very inspired by them, that librarians are not only custodians of books, but we are also the informants, the deliverers of good information, and we can also address the gap between the poor and the rich, because we provide free premium access to resource materials, computers. Not everyone is privileged to have these computers like here, to be able to learn in school. So if libraries can fill in the gaps, maybe just like basic literacy programs or hands-out computers, maybe it's not a really alternative for education, but if we can give time for them to improve themselves, and I think that's okay. It's an honorable thing. Thank you.
I feel so similarly. I joined the library profession because I did my Master of Arts in History, and I worked quite a bit with archival materials, and was really fascinated by how these materials are curated, how they make their way into institutions, how they're discovered by users, and how they're used to write history. And so after I graduated, I was just so intrigued and concerned by this question. So I looked at programs across Canada, specifically in archival studies. The University of British Columbia offers that specialization. But I ultimately decided to stay here at Dalhousie because they offer the only MLIS, now called the Master of Information degree, that's situated within the Faculty of Management. And I really saw the addition of technology and the LIS profession situated within information management as really applicable, intensely applicable to different sectors and industries. And so I thought I would try to give myself more of a well-rounded education, and it is a professional degree here. So there's quite a few internship and work and professional development opportunities built into the program. So that's why I chose Dalhousie in particular. But I've always been attracted to the library and information profession, I think, since I was young. I knew that I wanted to work with information, encouraging access, and that democratization of knowledge is really important to me. So that's how I made my way here.
And me, I think it's actually this isn't something to be proud of, especially in a forum like this. The reason why I chose this major is, but believe or not, as I shared in my paper, that I started because of Korean drama, Korean series. Yeah. The title is Romance is a Bonus Book. So actually I watched it because the actor that I like, but the storyline it's literally made me fall in love and motivate to me to get involved in this world related to books. And the series is not, but the series is not about library and or is set in library, but the series tells the story of the ups and down of a publisher. And through the series, I more or less come to understand why there should be such a thing as like copyright and or intellectually property right, or that in fact that there are designers who specifically design book covers, or unfortunately the fact of book that don't sell well and so on. And I was interested in knowing more about books, and here I am. But out of the decision that become one of the determining factor for my future as an impulsive decision, I don't think I regret it. Meeting great people in their fields, like today, struggling with knowledge that I never even knew that exist, working in the fields that other people think are jobs that are not tiring at all, or like ordinary, that's so easy, which of course is not so easy. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing way of.
Okay. Why did I choose LIS? So it's like more of a personal reason, and the story begins when I was still in my 11th to 12th grade in senior high school, and choosing a degree or a course, college course, was talk of the town. And since we are near to ending our high school journey, and even though my mother is a librarian by background, LIS was totally out of the picture. So when I was taking an entrance examination in a particular state university in the country, LIS was not in my top three list of courses. That's true. I remember that I had written BA Political Science and something related to speech and literature course. I was, however, rejected. Later, after that, I enrolled at a specific college here in the city. I can't mention. Still, Bliss was not on my list of courses. I took BA Communication instead, and because I thought it was an advantage as a pre-law course. Um, it didn't go well, I must say, and destiny made me reflect a lot because I decided not to finish my BA in communications because I could see the course was not for me. I know we've all had this experience, I'm sure. So I just transferred to the University of Southeastern Philippines, where I am currently enrolled, and also yet before that, before enrolling, there were several sessions spent on understanding what I really want to do in my life, uh, talking and a lot of talking and consulting with my parents, and I did a lot of searching of different courses before enrolling in the university, and I came across this program called LIS while exploring the university's website, and instantly called my mother, um, since I knew she would be amazed and happy since she's a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in library and information science. And I told her that I was still interested in, in pursuing or in working in the legal profession. And I asked her, how can this degree lead me to that type of path? To which she immediately replied, how about being a law librarian? Following that, everything falls into place. And as I begin searching law librarianship, everything falls into place as I begin having this research searching on different areas of librarianship. I took the admission test in the University of Southeastern Philippines, did well on it, and now here I am sharing it with you with joy and pride. I'd sum it up by saying the course chose me, LIS chose me.
Cool. So that kind of leads into my next question. I know you said that you focused on law libraries, and there's a lot of different kind of libraries within the world. We have public libraries, law libraries, museums, academic, so on and so forth. So that brings the question of, what was your area of interest or focus in library sciences, and where do you want your career to go?
Is it my turn now? Because yeah, I was the first in order. So where do I want to specialize in when I graduate? Because I'm currently at fourth year student. So I want to focus on public libraries because this is where we can change people's lives, you know. I think libraries as like, it's like an orphanage, but it's much more than an orphanage. It's like a upgraded orphanage because, for example, libraries when in pandemic or when in crisis, you know that libraries can be an evacuation centers, right? When there are floods and there are things. But here in the libraries, we accept all kinds of people, you know, beggars, they can read books if they want to, they can stay there if they want to. It's like a motel for them, you know. But in here in libraries, they can actually get themselves a chance at life because where they are staying at the when they are staying at the library, they can read books, they can consume a lot of information. Maybe someday, or after a lot of practice, after joining a lot of programs provided by us, maybe if they can read a lot of books, maybe they create their own book, or they can create their own artworks there. So now they have a fighting chance for life. I really want to share the privilege I have with other people. So I want to focus on public libraries.
I've taken quite, I think, a circuitous route through this program when I joined. I think, as I mentioned, I was interested in studying archives. I was set on being an archivist, and that's what I wanted to do. And our program offers different certificates that students can take to specialize in certain areas. So I do have a certificate in archives, but we also have professional development opportunities. And so in the first year of this program, I worked as a student assistant at our health sciences library here at Dalhousie, just at the circulation desk. So it was a public facing role. And then from there, in my second year, I moved into an internship role. So I've been working reference at our health sciences library for a year now. And that really crystallized my interest in academic libraries. I'm very research focused here at the School of Information Management, and I really loved working with research teams and individual researchers and assisting on the projects in areas of evidence synthesis and things like that. So I just really enjoy the instruction element, so sort of advising on creating a search, how to use subject-specific databases, and kind of guiding them through the research process. So managing citations and things like that, using software to screen references for systematic and scoping reviews. And I can definitely see myself staying in academic libraries. I think that I would be happy assisting a range of disciplines because my background is quite interdisciplinary. But I've also considered moving into a doctoral program because a lot of my research is bibliometrics and scholarly communications focused. And so I think with a bit more expertise in that area, I could come back and apply that in professional settings really effectively. So that's kind of where I'm at now, but open to a wide range of things as I look down the last month of our term.
So for me, actually, no matter how prepared I'm with what I have or current agent in, it's still difficult for me to imagine what will happen in the future. But if I were asked, I would like to focus on the librarian who is the center of the manuscript. In Indonesia, there are many historical relics in the form of writing, such as manuscript that are tens of years old. And of course, this ancient writing have a variety of information needed by readers. The manuscript have a very diverse content, ranging from religion, norms, advice, until the art such as poetry, and in addition to the content, what needs to be considered in the origin and codicology. It's not easy matter to collect and organize it. And so as from the library side, until now, there may be a standard in its classification, but that is still from the side of a philologist, not a librarian. So as a librarian, we should make a standard how to manage and classify that about manuscript. Yeah.
Okay. The question is, what's my focus or area of interest in LIS? So when I was in first year to third year college, I was really interested in the law librarianship. Not until the first semester of my fourth year in college, when I had my out-campus internship with the Philippine Academy of Family Physicians, this is where um, I started to discover the snippets of how health sciences librarians work. And this interest has led me to have my undergraduate study in the field of health sciences librarianship. Where do I want my career to go? Well, I don't really know because I want to explore all areas as much as possible because LIS definitely brings me to distinctive, fantastic experiences. And I don't want to limit myself and my career. This is because our university allows us to build our dreams without limits.
Excellent. A very diverse group of people and across the fields of library science and a little bit beyond library science. So that's pretty awesome. So one more question before we go to the questions and the question and answer box, but is what is one thing that is important for new LIS students to know as they start their own program journey?
Can you repeat it again? I'm sorry, I didn't.
It's no worries. Thank you for asking. What is one thing that is important for new LIS students to know, our library and information science students to know as they start their own program journey? So what would somebody would have told you before you started library school? Something like that.
Before they start library school, first of all, you really need to work well with your peers when we are starting at this library information science field, because we are quite only few. Actually, I only have 9 classmates right now. I have only 9 classmates. So if you think that us 9 classmates will fill up the 50,000, then that's you can't do it. But it can get pretty lonely if you won't be able to communicate well with your group mates because you are only few. Some people actually our third year students are actually two people only, 2 students. So they really need to work hand in hand. And what would I like to advise for them? Be passionate about libraries. Libraries are not just for jobs, you know. You don't just take libraries for earning money. This can help a lot of people's lives. And also, as Maddie has told us, it can create a diverse area, a space for diverse information. With Alifia, we can, in libraries, we can protect our history, the manuscripts of our religion and such history. And so that my tip is to be passionate. Thank you.
I love that. And I would definitely second that. Passion is important. I think I would advise students entering the profession. Advice that I got when I first started from a mentor was to prioritize relationships, because the LIS field, at least in Canada, it's quite small, and so the longer you're in it, the more and more you recognize names and form relationships, and those relationships are really important for things like community building, collaboration, establishing outreach, and things like that. And a reason why I was interested in participating in today's panel is because I want to extend that outreach globally. And so I think relationships are definitely something that are worth investing in. And so a mentor told me, you know, as you move through the program, it's important to get good grades. It's important to engage as much as you can with material and course content and curriculum. But it's also important to learn from those around you. And I would say that I've learned just as much from my peers who come from a diverse range of backgrounds and often have decades of professional experience, just as much as I have learned from faculty here. And even more so, I learn every day from patrons in the community that I serve and researchers that I work with. So I would definitely recommend that getting to know the people around you is really important in this sort of work, at least one that is dedicated to service. On kind of building off the mentorship thing, I would also recommend finding a mentor, whether that is a student who's just a year older than you, not their age has anything to do with it, but someone that you feel you can kind of work through your goals with, sort of establish direction, someone you can go to for advice and can offer a bit of perspective. I found that really helpful. And it's great to have many of those from all areas. So whether that's just a friend or a professor who you can sort of establish your sort of career direction, because LIS is quite a diverse field and you can take it in a lot of areas. And finally, I would say that because it is such a diverse field, dip your toes in everything. When I started, I wanted to go into archives, and I'm leaning into data-centered and intensive research, which I never would have anticipated starting this degree. And so while I would recommend sort of trying to become proficient in a large range of skills, I would also say pay attention to competencies or guiding tenets of LIS. And I know that this is a theme in the field, is sort of guiding philosophy and grounded practice in that, whether that's a dedication to service or EDI or things like that. That's really helpful to sort of guide you and or develop a professional philosophy or a teaching philosophy. I think that's a really important thing for students to sort of start thinking about at this stage.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more slowly? I can't understand. Sorry.
There's no worries. The question was, what is one thing that is important for new library and science and students to know as they start their own program and journey? Or what advice would you give a student who is going to enter the library and science field?
Can you give me a minute?
No worries, we can go to Ira, and come back to you. Is that okay?
Okay.
So there are a lot of things that that I believe is important for new LIS students as they start their journey. Okay, I want you to know that there is a consistent demand for librarians in academic institutions such as universities and colleges, as well as in public and private sectors. And today, librarians have developed their skills throughout the years. So specialists in the areas of information technology, digital library management, and research support. Second, in the Philippine setting, LIS in the information technology education section is identified as one of the priority programs of CHED and or the Commission on Higher Education in the Philippines. And it recognizes the importance of LIS as it is a crucial discipline in shaping the country's education and research landscape. Third, technology is changing rapidly, and the need for effective information management and access is more critical than ever. This is where librarians enter the picture. Librarians are essential in the transition from traditional to IT integration, such as information management, digital preservation, information literacy, collaboration, and innovation. Also, for all students out there who did not choose LIS but fall in the LIS program, I want you to know that two things, okay? The in starting your LIS journey, bring your curiosity and love in discovering things, and make it your motivation to get up every day. Because I know for sure there I know you know this feeling that if it's not your love course, very hard, right? But I want you to bring that love in discovering things, because LIS is fun when you learn to love the course. Second, for all students out there who chose LIS, I want you to continue loving the course. Keep your passion burning and exploring the LIS field. That's it. Thank you.
So maybe I want to answer. Especially in my university, it's a lot of. I didn't expect that I should, when I choose this major, I should to many of subject. I mean, from there's no focus that lead to a particular field of librarian. I mean, maybe when you think about it, the field in library science isn't that wide, but it turned out that if we really try to tackle everything, it's a tough thing. As an example, like in my university, it's we teach a lot of things like librarian that could manage the manuscript or the librarian, and on the other hand, we should to be a digital librarian that should know everything about digital and technology. So I just hope we can choose focus to the some of librarian, which what is in which type of librarian, and I just hope people don't underestimate this profession. There's a lot of problem regarding information that we have to manage, especially in Indonesia. That's it.
Great. So we are running a little fast, so I'll just tell a bit about what I'm doing. So I work in the South Carolina, United States of America, and my library field is also growing. It's both growing and shrinking. It depends on what area of the United States you're in. If you might be in a rural area, it might be a little bit more of a struggle. In the urban areas, it's growing pretty quickly. I am currently at the School of University of South Carolina, pursuing my master's in library and science information. I was first a library assistant, and that is how I got to be part of the decided to become a librarian professionally, because in order to advance further in the career, I had to get my master's. And yes, to Farah, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but yes, if you would like to make a Telegram group for LIS students, you're more than welcome to do so. Just put it in the link in the chat. And I'm sure whoever would like to join would be happy to join up right quick in a hurry. So I'll go ahead and start with that first question that we have in our question and answer box. And one I think is actually pretty relevant to today is, do you consider AI technology such as OpenGPT a threat in your field? Oh, and if you don't know what OpenGPT is, let me know and I'll explain.
So can I ask, so like ChatGPT, OpenGPT, AI technology, something like that?
Yes.
So the question is it relevant to our field, or
is it a threat to our field? Like, you know how some people say like they don't need librarians anymore because we have Google?
Actually, I think no, because like ChatGPT, we can utilize actually we can utilize ChatGPT as a auto response maker for library queries in online, because we can actually program the AI for answering queries. in terms of a threat to our field, I think it boosts our field because ChatGPT and the other AI stuff. Do you know the art AI? What is this to call? The art AI, the art maker, like that. So as librarians, if we see that artists are being passionate about the AIs and to not support AI, so we librarians can also take a voice in that because libraries can also be a awareness center of all things that is not going great. For example, the copyright strikes from AI technologies and all the misinformations, because AI are just robots. They don't have context. So we as librarians can make the technology more accurate. Yeah, I think libraries can make it more accurate.
Yes, I second that. I don't see it so much as a threat. I don't really that sort of language, I think, sort of creates some fear around these technologies that I mean, artificial intelligence is embedded in so much of what we use already. So I think it's kind of all around us, and there's no need to be kind of or perceive it that way. I see it more as an opportunity, I think. So from a librarian perspective, I think that as Jose mentioned, it can sort of augment this information discoverability. You have to find the way we find and access and retrieve information. And I think that librarians can play a large part in sort of fostering this sort of literacy in the patrons that we serve. So how to use technology, what it can be used for, its limitations, that's really important. I think as well, in terms of, I know that in higher education and teaching, people are worried about students sort of generating text and using that for assignments and things like that. But I think that this is an opportunity to create assignments that sort of encourage deeper reflection and integration and synthesis of course material. And so we can sort of work towards, again, fostering critical thinking skills and problem solving and things like that, rather than just sort of content-based assessments. So I see opportunity there, and I think librarians, or at least academic librarians in higher education, can sort of help with that sort of content creation and navigating technology in that space. And finally, coming from a bibliometric perspective, one issue that I've sort of seen popping up in libraries, at least an email landed in my inbox last week, was ChatGPT, when it is generating textual content, it's creating what I have heard referred to as phantom citations, or I think another word for that is AI hallucination, where it's sort of creating citations that don't exist in real life, but are kind of made with author names, real text titles, and it's sophisticated enough that it's generating summaries of work that don't exist in real life. And so I know librarians are faced with trying to find books and articles that don't exist, and that is taking some time and is a challenge that we're currently facing. So I would see that as a challenge, not so much as a threat, but something that I'm interested to see evolve. And I think that, again, this is an opportunity for all of us to sort of engage in collective dialogue as we address these challenges. So I'll just leave it there.
So actually I don't to understand it that phenomena. So I mean I think AI doesn't have as much credibility as the information we can find in the library. Libraries have information with clear source and more accountable. And only we as a librarian can serve it serve it to the users about what they need. So I think people just use it that AI is just to refresh their brains for the information they need, not to not to what reliable.
Do that. Right. Thank you. So we know the fact that librarians likely to be shaped by variety of factors. That includes technology, changing user needs and expectations and other societal trends. Um, AI or artificial intelligence is not a threat at all because librarians and human minds cannot be replaced by AI. But AI can be used as a support in the delivery of services, right? We also need to adopt AI or take part of it as as LIS also engage in the integration of information technology. Yeah, that's it.
Excellent. I like the different range of answers that we have, and but the consensus seems to be this is not a threat. So that's refreshing to know. I will still have a job in 5 years. Yay! So I have another question from the chat. It's a little bit long, so just stick with me. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll repeat it. I noticed that in our generation, the library is becoming a one-stop shop wherein we accommodate everything that society needs, such as the lending the actual tools, not library related, to becoming a shelter to those who fled the country, becoming a psychological first aider, etc. With all this, it appears that the library is losing its core purpose and identity, unlike with other professions wherein they maintain their purpose. Do you think people perceive the library as a passive organization?
Can you repeat the half of the question, or can you send it directly to us so we can?
I'll
Yeah.
copy and paste it.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of getting the question. I still don't have the.
Oh, sorry. I sent okay. And resent.
Oh. Yeah. So I noticed energy becoming one to the shop. Oh, so are you talking about its core purpose?
Yes.
Most people perceive libraries as just just a one-stop shop for information, just a custodians of books. That was the literally purpose back then. But what you told here is it is really the new purpose of the libraries. It is really it has to be this way. Libraries are so very well-rounded. It can do so much more than just giving information. As I told you, it can be a first aider, can be a evacuation center. It can provide a lot of programs that will help a lot of people. For example, like breast cancer awareness program, polio awareness program, cancer program, something like that. So this is really the purpose of libraries. It's not just about being a custodian of books. This is the core. We are not losing it. We are just we are barely scratching the inner core of the library profession. Yeah. Thank you.
This is a fantastic question. And one that's it's quite complex, and I'll do my best to sort of answer it. But I think this is a really big question that is going to be sort of an ongoing dialogue in the LIS profession for as long as we're all working in it. I think that the purpose of a library, I mean, it's primarily to provide access to information to patrons, certainly, but it's also a place of gathering, a place of community, a place where patrons can discover knowledge and foster that in a variety of different ways. And I think that there's no one size fits all service model. And of course, depending on the library context, so academic, public, and that might look different. And maybe I'll comment on public libraries as a setting, because I think here we're seeing quite a bit of job creep. So as the question mentioned, I'll just pull it up too. We are seeing that librarians need now to be more equipped in a range of skills and things like social work, for example. And I know that there's some conversation going around. Do we need to have social workers in public library settings? Is it on librarians to sort of foster this knowledge or learn these things? And I think an amazing thing about our profession is lifelong learning. But at the same time, it's difficult to sort of be doing your job on a day-to-day basis and learning all the skills you need in a rapidly changing environment all the time to suit a wide variety of patron needs. So I think the purpose of the library is to serve, certainly, but I know that vocational law is also something that is very attached to this profession. And I think that LIS practitioners, sorry, I can't remember where I was going with this. I think LIS practitioners can sort of reflect on what they feel that their role is and have that ongoing dialogue, and they'll find those things in sort of the mission and the mandate of the library they work for, its strategic priorities, and if there may be its key deliverables and things like that. But at the same time, I don't think that the library is sort of suffering from a dissolution of its core purpose. I think that will always remain. I think that's just changing over time. And what we're witnessing is sort of an evolution, a reaction to real world events. So things like the climate crisis, for example. Here in Halifax, we've been experiencing things like hurricanes, and the library, the public library, has become a hub for people to go and charge their phones, for example. This year, we saw a week-long power outage. So these services will look different in response to different contexts. And I think the way that we respond and change our services and allocate our resources and budgets will be changing consistently along with that. But I think that the core spirit and guiding tenets of this profession remain, which are things like access to information and service and community. That's all of them.
So yeah, library is becoming one-stop shop. Yeah. I'm glad that library can be that, because it's not only according to its function and service regarding borrowing books and so on, but the library is to provide what user asks for, especially in terms of information. So I think it's possible and fun if it becomes a place for people to gather, so they came from a better community environment. That's it.
Okay. While libraries may have been, traditionally perceived as passive organization, however, in the recent years, the perception is changing as library become more involved in their communities and take um, more proactive role in promoting education, literacy, and community engagement. And as librarians, we need to be flexible, not only in responding to the needs of our users, but in order to understand our users to be part of us or in the library, we also need to have extra effort, like extending our extra effort, our extra services in the sense of making them comfortable. Um, this also skipped the common perception of librarian that they are strict. We can do this without removing the sense of being a librarian, because this is because the way we are to users reflects the way we make them comfortable.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, seems like everybody's pretty much on board with the change that we're going through. And even though that the library is changing, the core of the library still kind of remains the same. While we're not necessarily books anymore, we're still a place of knowledge, learning, opportunity, a place where you could come to grow and learn and become more than what you started as. So yep, we don't have to worry. We'll just go with the flow and keep adapting and be what the people need us to be. So the next question I have is, we're going to go a little bit easier. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself in 5 years. I have already graduated my Master's of Library Information Science. I don't think I can go overseas to pursue doctorate program, but I think I would end up on public libraries or academic libraries. Yeah. By helping people, by helping more communities to come together. Because actually libraries are has a different lot has a lot of personalities, because as the question says, so it is also a community builder, because this is where people come along and try new things, to come up with new things to innovate in. Some people play games in the library, and some people do their group projects there. So I would really love to make a career in 5 years that I am in public libraries or academic libraries, where I bring people together, because libraries bring people together.
Love that. I think similarly, um, in 5 years, I hope that either working in a library or perhaps in a doctoral program, so deepening my knowledge. But maybe in a more general sense, I would really like to continue participating in things like this, where we sort of have communal conference around this profession and how we can create stronger ties. And I would really like to see this sort of proliferate across the world and make its way into like policy level decision making. So I hope in 5 years I can still contribute or maybe play a greater role in contributing to sort of the goals and objectives that we're all collectively working towards. And that's what I hope for myself. In 5 years, I also hope I'm better at coding. I'll just put that out there into the universe now. I think 5 years is enough time.
Alifa?
Okay, of course, like just 5 years from now, I will have graduate from my bachelor study, and I hope I can contribute more with many event related to library, and or maybe I will take the master graduate and become a lecturer. I think teach or share the information to others. It's so fun, or like it's, yeah.
Okay. Where do I see myself 5 years from now? Well, I see myself 5 years from now, a degree holder, a licensed professional librarian, and an MLIS holder, and a PhD holder, and also, um, as I mentioned earlier, that I want to explore different areas in librarianship, but I want to focus on more, on to law librarianship, health sciences librarianship, or medical librarianship. I also want, I also want to see myself 5 years from now doing a lot of community engagement, because I want to, as a librarian in the future, I want to offer a range of programs and services that go beyond, traditional book lending, such as events, workshops, collaborations with other local organizations. That's it.
It seems that we have lofty goals for ourselves, and I hope we all reach that. Maybe we'll meet back up in 5 years and be like, did you accomplish what you said you were going to do? That would be awesome. Looks like we have a couple of people in the chat who also want to be in the library field. Specifically, we have some library directors in the future. We also have a lecturer in the future. And someone who wants to develop a green library in their village. Yes. So yeah, a very diverse crop of future librarians and people within that field. So excellent for motivation for other LIS. Okay. So yes, I have some other questions. Yeah. Oh no, that's sorry, wrong one. What is the reason the librarian is a great job in this area? What is the reason that being a librarian is a great job in this current time period? So.
So what makes us great in today's era? Because I think in any era we would be great, because we personally, I think libraries have always been a supporting cast for clients and divorce, because every field has libraries, right? Hospitals, academic field, farming, governments. It's like we're just really here to we're like their secretaries or something. We just want to improve the lives of others around us by providing, first of all, the good quality information, so there won't be errors and misinformation going on. And we can also give a lot of technology, so they won't have to be worried about the technology stuff, and just focus on innovating. I think what makes us great in every era is that libraries are always supporting. It's always a supporting character. We are not the main character, but yeah, we're always right there. A tier list, something like that. We are not the S tier, but yeah, being A is fine. I take A in a day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the question is what doesn't make us good in this era. Just kidding. I think, yeah, nowadays there's just an exponential amount of information circulating, and with the sheer volume and velocity of information and data being created on a daily basis, coupled with things like misinformation, malinformation, which is sort of promulgated through technology in certain ways. I think that librarians are really essential for helping people navigate this landscape. It can be quite confusing, and I think that we really, I think the literacies that we can help foster, whether that's digital literacy, information literacy, things like that, they're really essential to just exist maybe in 2023. So I think what makes us great is that we're sort of a safe place for people to learn and bring their questions and find the resources that they need. And we protect intellectual freedom and the democratization of knowledge. And I think that that is just an imperative that we all share. So I think what makes us great is sort of the services that we offer to the public. And at the same time, I think that everyone I know in the LIS field is just an incredible, lovely person dedicated to service. And what makes us great, I think, is what we all share, and that is a desire to see our communities empowered, our desire to uplift those around us, our desire to foster communication. And I think that I mean, I could go on forever, but I would sort of summarize what is so wonderful about the LIS field. It really reaches into every area of society. There's no place it isn't relevant. So I think if you're curious and you enjoy lifelong learning, then this place for you.
Actually, before entering this library world, I like the librarians that just stay in a quiet room and alone. But then I realized that a librarian's job is not that simple as that. By becoming librarians, we will serve various types of information needed by the community. Information is constantly increase, evolving, but we will maintain and manage it. And we definitely need someone or an organization that can provide what we need by selecting and or classifying, organizing information. So in my opinion, it's we still need the profession like us.
So what makes librarians, great? Librarians are great because they promote access to information. Second, they support lifelong learning. And aside, aside from we are needed due to the accreditation standards here in the Philippines, we are valuable simply because we are the holder of factual information. We teach students or help future professionals um, to learn and get the right information. I'd say we are the source of diverse information. That's it.
Awesome. I love the responses. Especially the A list and the S list. Gotta admit, I like the anime reference right there. So we might have time for 2 more questions, but I definitely want to get this question in before we run out of time. So in this time, and yes, I know we just kind of just speak about this, but I can't say about the rest of the world, but in the United States right now, we are being faced with a lot of censorship requests or mandates. And I wondered, and like with that type of pressure and stuff, how do we motivate the next generation of LIS students to continue in a field where it seems that you'll be butting heads with a lot of politicians or other groups of people who don't like the fact that we are a place that's open to everybody, that's promoting lifelong learning. What would you say to them to motivate them to continue their education or to continue to go forward on this path?
It seems like I'm still processing all my data. Can we go first to Miss Maddie? Or yeah.
The answer, but with the sense that just being honest about the challenges that we're facing equips us better to handle them. So when you enter library school and you start to see that you're facing real challenges and ones that have deep effects on people's lives and values that we hold dear, like democracy and intellectual freedom. I think that, of course, it's intimidating, and I think that we can encourage students by it sounds trivial, but community is really important. No one person is going to solve this issue, and it's not any one person's to take on alone. So I think that to encourage students who may feel overwhelmed by the challenges around us, it's really to promote dialogue around it, to encourage curiosity, innovative solutions. We're only going to sort of tackle these big things by conferring with one another, being creative in our solutions, working with people from other disciplines, other sectors. That's really important. And so I think that siloing ourselves and saying this is only an LIS issue is probably not the right approach. It's to look around us and see how other fields are working on these issues, how we can sort of work together to create real change. That's not a good answer, but I just wanted to focus on the new student aspect of that. If I had to go back and give myself advice, it would just be that, this is a career-long a challenge, and it will look different as you move through your career, and you'll find different ways and learn more knowledge that will help you address these things. But again, it's not something that you do in isolation. So that's what I would just tell students.
Jose, are you ready?
Yeah, I think we just need to remind ourselves why are we doing this. This is for the people, and let's not be scared about these politicians and all, because if we come together, we can beat them, right? And I've always liked this TED Talk. I don't know who it is, but she says that our silence serves no one. Our silence serves no one, right? Because if we will only take this censorship and all, if we will not fight for the truth, then what will happen to us? Because knowing the truth is what will really propel us to have better decisions in our lives, to be the best we can be. So I would like to fight for the truth. So always think that if you're getting down or something, that you are doing this for the people and you want everyone to know the truth that is going on behind them. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Miss Christina. Can the question? Can you repeat?
Yeah, no worries. My question was, what would you say to like starting LIS students to motivate them to continue in a field where it seems that they might be under attack, like the field itself might be under attack, or the librarians themselves may be under attack in the future? What would you say to motivate them to continue on in such a field?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Give me a minute.
No worries. Ira, if you have a response.
Okay. Well, for the future, to those aspiring LIS students, well, you know what? The question is really, is really interesting because this is a challenge to the society. It's because not all of not everyone knows the profession, right? And as a future registered librarian, it is my duty, to encourage by, you know, by suggesting or recommending them that you always have to um, you always have to be curious. You always have to, this passion to discover things because there is a lot more, in the LIS. And what is also important is that librarians right now remain critical, in facilitating access to information and, of course, promoting lifelong learning. So librarians give emphasis on digital literacy. Second, we integrate um, emerging technology. Also, we expand our rules in the education field, right? We provide instruction and we support to learners of all ages. And in a society where where no seems familiar with the LIS, let us promote as a librarian a society that motivates to find factual information in the library because library is irreplaceable. That's it.
So being a librarian is not that bad. I just agree with Mr. just said that the reason of what the reason that make you join this field, this field. So and in my religion, the reason is everything can determine what will you do. Yeah, I said like where the reason is for good reason, so it's make a good it's a good future too. Thank you.
Can I add more? I would just like to highlight something.
Yeah, just real quick.
Yeah,
and then we'll wrap up.
yeah, just real quick. Because yeah, libraries are the most the biggest entity for fighting for information, for the truth. So if we are not fighting for it, then who will? We are supposed to be the frontliners, right? For the truth and the factual information. So that's just I would like to highlight that we are the frontliners and fighters for the truth.
Very well said, everybody. Very well said. Barbara, I believe you want to say something right quick.
Yes, let me see if I can get my video on as well. Hi. Hello, everyone again. Dr. Marson, I'm a member of the BSLISC group. I want to say, after having spent over 40 years in this profession, that I can see that the future is in very good hands. Yes, yes, very much so. And want to thank all four of the panelists, Christina, who did an excellent job as moderator, and of course to Dr. Kraminska for her leadership in the peer-to-peer webinar. I am have been honored to be a part of listening to your responses and your thoughtful considerations of the issues that are facing us now. Thank you.
So I just wanted to say last thing, thank you everybody for your questions. I'm sorry we didn't get to all of them. Thank you so very much for coming. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll just pass this to Dr. Albina.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Christina, for moderating this session. That was really great. And thank you to our panelists for answering these sometimes difficult questions, but they're very interesting. And it was a great pleasure to listen to your questions. And as Barbara told, as Dr. Mason told, that really our profession is safe with you. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you next times at our webinars. And please follow us on social media, and also check our webpage of IFLA section on education and training. And we have more events for you that was organized especially for LIS students to help you to enter professional field. Thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye.